Okay, so ready for another deep dive?
Always.
All right, excellent. So today we're diving into Junie. You know that book that the Good Morning America book club picked?
Yeah, I've heard some buzz about it.
Yeah, it's by Erin Crosby Eckstine, and it's historical fiction,
Cool.
set in Alabama right before the Civil War starts.
Wow, sounds intense already.
Right. I mean, we've got enslaved characters, a mystery, forbidden romance, like the whole package deal.
Ooh, sign me up.
Yeah, right. So we're just going to go off the synopsis here, kind of see what we can unpack.
Sounds good.
So first up, we got to meet, the star of the show, Junie.
The main character.
Yeah, 16 years old, been working on Bellereine Plantation since, well, basically forever.
That's tough to imagine,
Yeah, and she, like so many others, she wants freedom. But it seems like it's more than just, physically getting away from the plantation, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The synopsis mentions how much she loves poetry, like reading about faraway places.
Make you think, right? Like, was that her way of escaping mentally?
Yeah, it's like her spirit was already reaching beyond, like, the physical boundaries, sort of like finding freedom in her mind.
A different kind of freedom.
Exactly.
I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially back then.
Now, here's where things get a little spooky. So Junie's sister, Minnie, she's dead, right? But Junie's grief is so strong that she does something that brings Minnie's ghost back.
Whoa.
I know, right? Makes you wonder, like, what did she do? Was it like some forbidden ritual?
Maybe, yeah.
And why is Minnie's ghost still hanging around? I mean, what does Junie need to do to help her sister, move on?
Like she's tethered here for a reason.
Exactly. And it's like Junie's own path to freedom might be tied to freeing her sister's spirit too, like a 2-for-1 kind of deal.
Oh, that's an interesting way to look at it. It really adds another layer to her struggle.
Right, like it's not just about her anymore.
Yeah, it adds a whole new dimension to her story.
Okay, so we've got freedom, we've got ghosts. But let's not forget, we're also dealing with the reality of life on a plantation.
Yeah, it wasn't all, poetry and ghost stories.
Exactly. So we're introduced to Caleb. He's a coachman, and it seems like he and Junie become pretty close. Could this be like a forbidden romance brewing?
Ooh, juicy.
Right. I mean, think about it. Forbidden romances were pretty common in that setting. All the power dynamics, the danger involved.
Definitely adds to the intrigue.
Totally. And, Caleb being a coachman, he probably had a bit more freedom than Junie did. He might have even been able to read. Who knows?
Yeah, he could represent a link to a world outside of Bellereine.
Exactly. And then to make things even more interesting, there are these wealthy guests who show up at the plantation. And they start dropping hints about marriage for Violet, the plantation owner's daughter.
Classic Southern drama, huh?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I get the feeling that there are a lot of secrets hiding beneath the surface, like things are about to boil over.
You bring up a good point about secrets. I mean, plantations were full of them, right? Personal secrets, societal secrets.
Exactly.
And especially at that time, the whole debate about slavery was raising.
Yeah, absolutely. In Junie's story, it's like it's forcing us to confront those hidden truths, the ugliness that was lurking beneath all that Southern charm.
It makes you think about how history is often told from only one perspective.
Right. So we've got this backdrop of secrets, injustice, you name it. But Junie's not just sitting around, taking it. The synopsis says she starts to push back, to like fight against the limitations that are placed on her.
So we're talking about agency here. Right.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, for someone in Junie's position, what does that even look like?
It's a great question.
Right. Like a small acts of defiance, maybe.
Could be. Maybe she finds a way to learn to read or starts expressing herself in secret ways.
Yeah, or maybe even her connection with Caleb is a form of rebellion.
Ooh, definitely a possibility.
Like she's trying to carve out a space for herself in a world that's constantly trying to erase her.
Claiming her own narrative,
Exactly. But then, the synopsis hits us with this really heavy question. When we choose love and liberation, what must we leave behind? Like, what will Junie have to sacrifice to get what she wants?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It is, right? I mean, on a practical level, escaping slavery often meant leaving your family, your community.
Oh, yeah. And the emotional toll. I mean, to live with that constant fear, the uncertainty.
It makes you realize that freedom isn't always, sunshine and roses.
Yeah, it often comes with a heavy price.
And that's what makes Junie's story so powerful. It's forcing us to think about the complexities of freedom, the sacrifices that people had to make to achieve it.
It's not a simple story.
Nope, not at all. So to sum it all up, we have a young woman desperate for freedom in a society that's determined to deny her that right.
Wow, yeah. And then you add the mystery of her sister's ghost.
Right. And a forbidden romance that could offer her comfort, but also lead to, even more heartache. Junie definitely sounds like a book that'll stay with you for a while.
I think this deep dive has barely scratched the surface, really. There's so much to unpack here.
For sure. So as you guys dive into Junie yourselves, I want you to consider this. If you were in Junie's shoes, knowing what you know now about the risks, the potential losses, would you still fight for love and liberation?
It makes you think.
And what would you be willing to leave behind? All right, that's all the time we have for our deep dive on Junie today. Until next time, keep those pages turning and those minds exploring.
See you next time. Tie A31.